This is Majinoni. Here's my review for AVX Consequences 4, A plus X1, Ultimate, Spider-Man, and X-Men. I'll do X-Men first. Basically, this issue here is ending the war between the Sentinels and the mutants, and it's basically starting to define, I guess, the push to where the mutants are going to be going forward. Now, I have to admit, this was rather short. This whole battle thing was like over before we knew it started. And I think that there's a lot of lost opportunity to have done a fantastic job. You know, Kitty Pryde was gathering mutants to battle for the first time, and, you know, granted, you can say they experienced a Sentinel War, but in reality, this wasn't really a true war. You know, you could have had lots of character development, a little bit of grittiness, and it lacked a lot of that. I guess if you're looking for a Reader's Digest version, this is fine. But for me, you know, since I read a lot of manga, you can tell that it's just missing stuff. The art's okay, the story was okay. At the end, basically, what Kitty learns is you're basically, even though you have Captain America as president, you're trading one bad guy for another bad guy. Because Captain America offers her a couple choices. One is, he goes, well, you know, I have some land for you, set aside for you, and I'm offering you a cure. So this way, if any of your people don't want to be a mutant any longer, we can cure that. Now, while that all sounds, you know, good, if you really think about it, what are they doing? They're basically putting the mutants in one concentrated area, a concentration camp of sorts. You know, granted, there might not be a fence around it, but they're all in one place, and they're eliminating mutants at the same time. You know, you can look at it on the other hand. Hey, you know, there's people who probably don't want to be a mutant. They don't want to be feared and persecuted, don't want to get involved, they just want to lead a normal life. So, hey, they're free. And two, being in an isolated area, then they're not persecuted again. But, you know, if you really look at there's two pictures that you can look at, and obviously Cap is looking at it from one side, and Kitty Pryde's looking at it from the reality of the situation. Okay. Here is the Spider-Man one. Basically, what we have is Betty Brant goes digging, and she is trying to uncover who the new Spider-Man is. And she really comes close to figuring that out. She does make a wrong assumption, which I'm kind of surprised she did, but I understand why she did it. You know, just based on logic, I guess you can say, without really paying attention to closely what's going on in that tape that she has at the beginning here. Now, I think the art's really good. The story was actually really good, and this, even though this is a .1 issue, you really need to get this if you're reading Spider-Man, because this is a key development in the plot, especially who the villain is at the end. And I guess it goes to show you, don't go digging where you don't belong. I enjoyed it overall. A plus X, you know, for me, this almost reminded me of, you know, like your basic Marvel team-up, Marvel 2-in-1 type story, Avenging Spider-Man. But what they're really doing here is they're milking the mutants and Avenger crossovers as much as they possibly can. Because, as you can see here, they team Captain America and Cable and the Hulk and Wolverine in stories that just couldn't really possibly exist in a regular continuity. But they throw them in here just so this way they can sell, hopefully in their eyes, hundreds of thousands of copies. Because, I mean, look at it. The first issue, look at these characters. You know, these are all top tier characters, and they're just, like I said, it's evident that this is a money grab. I like the artwork in the Cap story, but the artwork in the Wolverine Hulk one just becomes bad. Now, I understand that, I think it was known, yeah, Dale Known is the artist, penciler, and I really liked Dale, like, when he did his run on the Hulk, years ago. But I don't know, it's like, it looks like Liefeld is doing the faces or something, because it just looks crappy. And what is this? They're just giving us, oh, let's do the Hulk Wolverine fight and we'll mix things up. I mean, you can literally hear the pitch in the room to get this story sold, and it's just like, it's a story that really doesn't matter. I know there's gonna be a lot of people who love it, and because of the team ups, they're gonna probably say there's gonna be some great stories. But I'm just telling you this. Don't support this stuff nonsense. This is $4. Save your money. If you have a girlfriend, take her to McDonald's. She'll be happy that you paid attention to her. Maybe buy her, I don't know, a hair ribbon, and that'll give you much greater advantages than this book will ever give you. Okay. AVX Consequences. This book is actually really good at what it's doing. It's really filling in a lot of background as to what's going on, and it without bogging down the main stories. In this, we have a lot of stuff going on. We have Iron Man or Tony coming to visit, Cyclops telling him, you know what, I knew that, towards the end, I knew that the Phoenix was going to help, and he wants to take readings off of Scott. Scott goes. Once he hears that speech, he's like, fine, take any readings you want. You have what's going on with Magneto and Sword. You have Hope and Namor, and Storm, Storm, Magneto, Colossus, and the villain side of things. And there's just so much stuff going on that it's really leading up to the future books with the Marvel Now, especially with the new X-Men. And it's a shame that if people are skipping it because of it's one of those types of books that people feel that it's just the money grab, because there's actually a lot of stuff that's going on in here, and I'm really surprisingly enjoying it so far, especially where you can kind of see like lines now being drawn in the sand of where people are going, and Magneto's getting himself a nice little group of villains with Magic and the Danger Room, and Scott for that matter. So I'm really curious to see where this is going to go, and how they're going to fill in the gaps, since we kind of already know where things, at least have an idea of how things are going to end up once the main issues start. So I'm enjoying this run. How about I just give you AVX Consequences? If you are getting AVX Consequences, I'm really curious to know what you guys think. And I'm also curious to know what you guys are thinking about A+X. Do you think it's a money grab, or do you think they actually can tell compelling stories that we really want to read? Now, granted, they do have top people, but there's a difference between the top person writing a story with a soul to it, and a top writer writing a story that just needs to fill some pages. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll have more stuff later. Rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. Like the Facebook link there, because I'll put up some free comic book links. I still have a bunch from last week to give out, and until next time.